Joined by CitrusTV basketball analyst Gill to help break down Syracuse in the NCAA tournament. The Orange, an 8 seed out west in the West Regional. They'll take on number 9 seed Baylor on Thursday in Salt Lake City, Utah. But before we get to the Bears, let's talk about a little bit of other news. Tyus Battle will be back for the NCAA tournament. Missed the ACC tournament with a bad back bruise. How important is it to have your star back for a big run in March?
Massively important. This team goes as far as Tyus Battle takes them, as far as I'm concerned. And honestly, I'm not very concerned at all. Whenever the odds are stacked against Syracuse, Tyus Battle is the guy who shows up. At Duke, Cameron Indoor Stadium, best game of the season. He dropped 32 points. At Carolina, he probably played his second best game of the season. He scored 29 points. Tyus Battle's got the killer instinct, the mean mug, the Mamba mentality. For that reason, I'm not concerned. I think he shows out.
And he'll have to show that off against Baylor, the number 9 seed and at large out of the Big 12 conference, 19-13 on the season. Syracuse is 2-0 all time against the Bears. But how does this Syracuse team match up with this Baylor team?
Well, stylistically, I think it's actually a matchup nightmare for Syracuse. Baylor is really good at rebounding. They have the 9th best rebound percentage in the tournament field. Syracuse has the 8th worst rebounding percentage in the tournament field. Also, the defense that the Bears play, that 1-3-1 zone on 40% of defensive possessions, Syracuse struggles against zone defense. So in that respect, it's a tough matchup. But Baylor, they've lost 4 straight, haven't been the same since they lost Tristan Clark about 14 games into the season.
So if they do get by Baylor, if they do get by that matchup nightmare does Syracuse, they'll play the number 1 seed in the West region. That's the Gonzaga Bulldogs, 30-plus wins on the season. Mark Few always has those guys coached up. Does Syracuse have any chance of knocking them off?
To be honest, JD, I'm not really feeling the upset on this one. Normally, when Jim Boeheim pulls off a miracle, it's because the opposition isn't used to seeing the zone. That will not be the case with the Gonzaga Bulldogs. They play out west where they see zone defense a lot. They also have Rui Hachimura, who's one of the best scorers on the interior. Pascal Chukwu, Barama Sidibe, Marek Dolezaj, whoever it is, I'm not sure they'll be able to handle that.
Well, if Syracuse even wants to get to Gonzaga, they'll have to make their way through Baylor. That game coming up Thursday night, Salt Lake City, Utah, 10 o'clock tip time. It's a late one, but you can follow Zach Lang at Z_Lang13 and Matthew Weasel there at MC Weasel for coverage throughout in Salt Lake City. Gil, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, JD.